Hello and welcome back to Midwesthockey.info. I'm joined again by Trent Barney. Thanks for joining me today and letting us shoot on your beautiful porch here.
Yep, sounds great.
It's been a while since we talked together on camera here. I did a junior show, I think, last week. Just sort of a preview of the games last weekend. There wasn't very many over the Labor Day weekend. The NA3 was the only one that had games. And the first game of the season, a familiar team for us, the Worcester Oilers. Remember, they were here for the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
They played their first game in the NA3 and won in overtime in Jamestown, New York. So nice start for them. Congratulations to the Oilers in their new league. And also the Cincinnati Thunder played 2 games in Pittsburgh. 2 close games. Well, the first one wasn't so close. It was 6-2 Pittsburgh. I guess that's not close.
Mm-hmm.
Second game a little closer. Cincinnati, a team looking to turn things around a little bit this year. Start off 0-2, but they look decent, so it should be interesting for them.
All right, sounds good.
A lot of leagues are getting started this weekend. This is the primary starting point for almost everybody for the regular season.
It's here.
Yeah, game on.
It's here.
Finally. It just happens to be the same week as the NFL starts, which kind of sucks a little bit, I guess. One of the primary things this weekend, and this is not regular season, the USHL is generally the final team, the final league to kind of get things going. But they have 5 what they're calling regional tournaments. And the first one is this weekend. All the others are going to be next weekend or into that sort of week. But this one is the biggest. It's 7 teams, and it's going to be in Green Bay. Not at the Rest Center. It's at another smaller ice surface there. But it should be a lot of fun if there's anybody in the Green Bay area. This is a chance to check out some really good hockey. The opener tonight, Friday night, we're doing this Thursday, but I'm sure it'll be Friday by the time people see this, is the Madison Capitals against Green Bay Gamblers. So an all-Wisconsin battle there, which that's going to have a little bit of excitement, I would expect.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good matchup.
Both of the Team USA squads are there. The Team USA operates as one team through the season in the standings and stuff like that, but it's actually 2 teams, the U18 and the U17 teams. Most of these players, Trent, have already been in action, playing in the Ivan Holinka tournament that we talked about a few weeks back, and the U17 tournament in, I think it was Switzerland. And these are guys, there's a lot of guys on that U18 team that are going to be high draft picks in the NHL. In the summer of 2016, so that's. I think anytime you can get a chance to see a team like that, knowing that these guys are going to be in the NHL, that's got to add to the excitement.
Yeah, it's something special.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Bloomington, Muskegon, Cedar Rapids. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the 7 teams. I won't go through the whole schedule, but it's on the USHL website if you want to find it. The NAHL, now we're moving on to Tier 2. NAHL easing into the season a little bit. Their showcase is a couple weeks away. But a couple teams are going to be in action this weekend, including one from the Midwest. And it's our furthest south entry, the Topeka Roadrunners, the Kansas-based team. They will be hosting Wichita Falls, a Texas-based team, for games Friday and Saturday. And that's a rival. Well, I don't know if I'd say it's a rivalry, but I know that those 2 teams were both among the front runners last year. So interesting start for both of them.
Should be a good matchup.
Yeah. And now this might be the matchup of the weekend. There's a Midwest presence again in the NOJHL. That's the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. One team from the Midwest USA, the Sioux Eagles, a former NA team, actually went from the Northern League to the NA, I think 3 years ago, and now they're going back into the Northern League. And they're starting it out with a huge rivalry, cross-border rival with the Sioux Thunderbirds. The Eagles are from Sault Ste. Marie, USA, and the Thunderbirds are from Sault Ste. Marie, Canada. I don't know if I should give away my secret here since we're doing it in the Midwest, but I am a Canadian, and I can tell you, Trent, anytime that there's a battle between the Canadian team and the USA team, it's a war. Yeah, it just brings out the fans, and it's a thrilling way to start the season for both of them. They're in on the Canadian side on Friday, back at Polar Stadium in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, on Saturday. So that should be an interesting battle there.
Yeah.
Moving on to Tier 3, the NA3 has a couple games Friday night. West Michigan, they were in the final tournament last year. They're going to start their season in Southern Tier. Southern Tier is the team that got beat by Worcester last weekend, so they're looking to get back on track, I'm sure. And in Minnesota, Twin City at Breezy Point on Friday night. Saturday, West Michigan will still be at Southern Tier. The Metro Jets will be at Pittsburgh, 2-0 Pittsburgh. So you talked about doing the streak. Now, how long is the streak going to go? Pittsburgh's already got a 2-gamer, so they're under pressure a little bit on Saturday night. Chicago Bulldogs at Peoria to play the Mustangs. Nashville Junior Predators at St. Louis. And the Minnesota Aces at Granite City. Granite City, the defending league champions from Minnesota, so they get underway. And Worcester will be back in action on Saturday. They're actually doing an interesting thing where they're going to be at Toledo on Saturday to play the Cherokee. On Sunday, Toledo will be in Worcester. So Worcester, which had to make some brutal trips last year to like Wisconsin Rapids, St. Louis, just huge long trips for them. And now they have opponents so close they can go back and forth on the weekend. So
Nice. That's a good thing.
yeah, definitely a nice change there. NA3 wraps up on Sunday with Metro will finish their 2-game set in Pittsburgh. Toledo, as I said, back in Worcester. Nashville wraps up in St. Louis. And Chicago finishes in Peoria. And the newest league, the USPHL Midwest, will start on 6 fronts on Friday night, tonight. The league is underway. Finally, the action begins at, I think the earliest game is 6:30 our time. Traverse City, the defending champions in the Midwest Junior League, will be at Tri-City. So they'll be taking, that's down by Detroit, I think. St. Croix Valley Magicians, which is formerly known as the Hudson Crusaders, will be in Steele County to play the Blades. Marquette Royals will be at Motor City. Blaine at Forest Lake. Blaine is the formerly Maple Grove. So that's the Energy at Forest Lake. Chicago Cougars, a new team, is going to be at Michigan. And the Dells Ducks will be on the road to Dyer, Indiana, to play Indiana Blackbirds. Most of them are 2-game series, Friday and Saturday, except the Minnesota teams, which they'll move around and play different teams on Saturday. And that's it for the NA3. A Friday, Saturday start. Games in 6 different centers. And Trent, we're underway. Junior hockey is on.
Finally getting started, so it's
exciting. It does seem exciting, yeah. So what I want to do is I'll be watching as many of these games as I can on Fast Hockey. They're all available on Fast Hockey. If anybody wants to subscribe, I highly recommend Fast Hockey. And they can be a sponsor for us now that we're mentioning them, I think.
Yeah, along with, I think, Reebok. I think we're going to mention Reebok. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
I recommend Reebok
I love
gear.
So that's it for this weekend. Maybe follow up with a couple things, hopefully one on the weekend or at the end of the weekend, just to follow up and talk about who did what, and then we'll set up the following weekend after that. So Trent, I appreciate your time. I know I didn't include you very much, but
no, it's all good.
I always appreciate your comments, and let them drop the puck.
Yeah, let's drop the puck.
All right, that's it for this week. We'll talk to you soon.
Stay classy, Midwest.